city streets passing underneath stormy skies. Neon signs in the night, red and blue city lights, cargo trains rolling by. Once again, someone cries. Trains and winter rains, no going under, no going home. Trains across the land, and in the sky, a star alone. Every time it's the same. One more night, one more train. Everywhere empty roads. Where they go, no one knows. Trains and winter rains, no going back, no going home. Trains across the plains, and in the sky, a star alone. Trains and winter rains, no going back, no going home. Trains across the plains, and in the sky, a star alone. Trains and winter rains, no going back, no going home. Trains across the plains, and in the sky, a star alone. Trains and winter rains, no going back, no going home. Trains across the plains, and in the sky, a star alone. My, time flies one step and we're on the moon. Next step into the stars. My, time flies, maybe we could be there soon. A one-way ticket to Mars. My, time flies, a man underneath the tree. An apple falls at his head. My, time flies, a man wrote a symphony. It's 1812. let's let yesterday go. Could be we step out again. Could be tomorrow, but then could be 2010. Memories we shared together, moments no one else can know. I will keep them close to me, never let them go. Once you filled my hands with roses, then you gave your heart to me. When a kiss had followed this, love was meant to be. Time goes by and the snow is drifting slowly in the sky. Cold night as you lie beside me, I can hear your heartbeat. You have lost yourself in dreaming. I have lost myself in you. Now we lie beneath the sky, stars and midnight blue, stars and midnight blue. You know when you gave your love away, it opens your heart, everything is new, and you know time will always find a way to let your heart believe it's true. You know love is everything you say, a whisper, a word, promises you give. You feel it in the heartbeat of the day. You know this is the way love is. Amarante, Amarante, Amarante. Love is love. Amarante, Amarante. You know love may sometimes make you cry, so let the tears go, they will flow away. For you know love will always let you fly. How far a heart can fly away. Amarante, Amarante, Amarante. Love is love. Amarante, Amarante, Amarante. Love is love. Amarante, Amarante, Amarante. Love is love. You know when love's shining in your eyes, it may be the stars falling from above, and you know love is with you when you rise. For night and day belong to love. Torino
And I'm just realizing our mic was off. I guess I should have done a sound check. Good afternoon, everyone. I realize now, realizing now my microphone was off, so I apologize about that. And we had a few folks here earlier. I'll wait and see if they repopulate. If anyone's got any questions on what it is you're seeing, or any questions on the day, or any questions on your markets, feel free. And I'm sorry about that. We went into great detail, and yet my mic was off, and I did not realize it. And so we're going to give everyone a chance to maybe stop back by, and but we'll let you watch the program. We're running a specialized program. It's had one trade for $800. There was a profit target for 800. Hit that minus a tick, minus the commissions a little bit, and um, and I'm happy. If we'll see if we can get a few more folks to populate, and I'll explain. Yeah, I'll answer any questions, of course, and very well may explain what it is we're running. If members are coming by on YouTube, which sometimes happens, if you're an annual member, please know you have a Zoom, a live Zoom. You can patch in any day. If you need the link and the password, definitely let me know if you've misplaced it at all. And we can always give you a little bit more detail than maybe what we can on YouTube. So don't hesitate. And and if anyone else has any other questions, we suggest and encourage you to visit the website, and you can email us and or call us any day from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. But we'll give folks a chance to maybe repopulate. And this is a beautiful little strategy. And what I wanted to walk through is what we went through to get here, and how we go about not just back testing the strategy, but how we go through forward or stress testing the strategy. In the meantime, when we look at Swing Machine, if you had bought the NQ on a 5 minute basis at 10:10 this morning, you would still be up. It'd be dipping. You wouldn't be up as much as you were, but you'd still be up some $1,600. And if we go back to our intraday, here are all the trades coming off of Swing Machine. Take a look at the Renko chart. And this is what we did last week. We just came right down to this level of support. and this is on the ES and we're bouncing and we think we will bounce. I don't think we're going to go back to the high, but if we bounce up here, then maybe we get another shot to get short. But we'll bring this back. There we go. Good afternoon, everyone. And hey, Zagrid, is it beneficial to know the implied volatility if I'm only trading futures outright? Is it beneficial to know the implied yeah, I do think it's still important um, to know the implied volatility of so if you know what the implied volatility is of the market you're trading for a given day, given few days, and it's a mathematical, I mean, you can know. Then that can help set your expectations as to how much money you should be expecting to make or to trade in a given day trading a futures contract. So I do think it's important, and we do track it. Hmm. Yep. This is where we do it. We have a tool right here. This is the options expected move radar, and this is giving us that. So on the SPY, we'll track it through the SPY. The expected move right now, the daily expected move on the SPY is 0.84% or $4.94 or in the oops, I gotta grab this call. Bear with me. Sorry about that, folks. Let's go back to where we were. So that gives us the expected move, and we can do it on any market. So we want to know just not just the implied volatility, but the expected move. This particular strategy, I'll wait to go into too much detail. I started to do it earlier and my mic wasn't on. So sorry about that. But with this is a strategy that is running on its own. So it's had one trade today and it hit its profit target of $800. We made just a little under that, the commission. The most use I have found is to determine whether the underlying is mean reverting. Um, yeah, I get that. Everything mean reverts at one point or another, but I don't know. I don't think that just implied volatility is going to give you just implied volatility is going to give you the mean reversion. I think that that could be a pig in a poke there. I mean, um, yeah, yeah. When I think about that, I wouldn't be using it there. But this particular strategy is a strategy that tracks these lines that are being drawn on the chart is tracking the opening range of the Nasdaq, and it's doing so on a very specialized chart. It's a line break chart, and it's doing it intraday here. This is a back test, the performance report. Now I want to be careful about the back test. We're not trying to suggest or make a claim going forward on a back test. We're not. We use them as models to measure what we're doing. But had we, in this back test, had we um, used the strategy for the last 20 weeks, it tells us the back test that would have made about 30,000, 1.42 profit factor. And it tells us a whole lot of other things in the back test. Winning percentage close to 69%, 70% out of 184 trades. And it also gives us an equity curve that looks something like that. But what we were addressing, and I won't go into too much detail, but when we ran this back test, and it didn't have a whole lot of parameters, so we don't feel as though there's a too big of a curve fit. There's a little bit of a curve fit, but we were able to plug this into something that TradeStation, let me do this, um, calls a walk forward optimization. And this can tell us we have criteria that what this walk forward test does, it takes the back test and then randomizes the data and tells us how robust. This is the matrix average out of samples, 10%, 15, and the number of runs, but the matrix average is a pass. So this tells us how robust the strategy might be, the annualized amount of money that we might make, which is suggesting 48,000 on this walk forward test. Now we might do more, we might do less. In fact, the efficiency of the matrix tells us 30%. So that could be interesting. What that might mean is that the backtest shows us that we could have done some 30,000, but the walk forward test telling us, you know what, realistically, you might only do 10,000. Now, maybe that's acceptable. Maybe it isn't. Maybe we do better, but it is this type of data that we will use to help set our expectations. What I really like about this back test and then plugged into the forward test tells me the percent profitable is about 70%, just very close to where it was with the back test. So that's very good. I'm gonna know in very short order here how this strategy is performing in relation to the back test and then the forward test. Now there's other things that we can do here. A lot of other things that we can do. I don't have enough time, but just to show you how we use some of this data so that we're not just winging it and just throwing shit around. And to give you an idea on the distribution analysis, we can actually drill down to the entry and find out what days are the better days. And even though we traded it today, Mondays are usually not a very good day to trade this strategy. It's usually Tuesday, Wednesday, not so good on Thursday. And the time is usually from 10 to 1 and not so good around 2 o'clock. And here we are approaching 2 o'clock. Maybe I don't want to take any of these trades, you know. But that's the sort of detail that we can get, all kinds of other detail. And it can even tell us, you know, when should we optimize again? Now, I don't want to, you know, suggest that everyone's got to be doing this on every single strategy all the time. It's data that we use to help manage our expectations. And we're tracking this particular strategy all this week. It's going to be trading no more than 4 times a day. It's going to be trading the NQ. It's going to be trading the strategy, and we're going to track it to see how she does in relation to the back test and in relation to the forward test. And we'll share that information with our members. Right now, she's just had that one winning trade, and we can see, and it's very, you know, be very. Now we could trade mechanically, you know, if you took, you know, swing machine. This isn't trading swing machine. If you took swing machine short 56 minutes ago, you made a grand. But we're doing something specific here that we want to collect this data. So just to give you an idea as to, you know, who we are, what we're about, what we're trying to do. This range was drawn by the machine, and the trade went in by the machine. On Friday, this was the range, and this trade went in by the machine. You can see it was a huge range, tight range, that sort of thing. Now, if a person wants to be tethered, and then the other consideration is like, questions about, well, where is the stop? Should it be the mid range or the other side of the range? And we can program all of that. Um, how much time should we look at the range? Should be just a few minutes, should be 15 minutes, should be the first hour, because you've got to establish how much time you want to look to calculate the range. And so the program can optimize those values over the last 20 weeks and tell us, well, how much time should we do? And that's kind of what we will do. We'll let the market tell us what we should be doing. And just to share, maybe you hear from somebody online that implied volatility means this or that. Okay. Um, as a member at a Stock Market Caddy, if you want to share with us what that suggestion is, then we'll write a code for that. And then what we'll do is then we'll back test that and forward test that and find out if it has any value at all before you commit your time and your capital into chasing something that is not worthwhile. Now, we were only expecting to stay up till about 1 o'clock, but because I was talking for like the first 20, 30 minutes without a microphone on, I'll extend it to probably the bottom of the 1 o'clock hour, probably down to about 1:20, 1:30. We get other folks that come by and want to ask us questions about what they're looking at, what we're doing. I'll answer those questions. Otherwise, I'm just going to shut up and let you watch. Yeah, Zagrid, couple of things on the Q school, and I'll answer your question. If you a person must be a monthly member, so the monthly membership is $100 a month. If a person wants to go through the Q school, which is described on the website, that is a 3 week plus endeavor, ideally spending 1 to 2 hours a day. And that's a one-time purchase. The Q school, you're going to get more out of the Q school if you have TradeStation, because we can send you not all the files, but we can send you some of the files. So one of the questions that you'd want to, or one of the considerations you'd want to make before signing up for the Q school is, do you have TradeStation and do you have access to TradeStation? Not all countries do for some reason, like Canada. Now, if you don't have access to it, you can still take Q school, but you can still do that, but you're not going to get as much out of it as if you did have TradeStation. And yes, I think it's a good idea. It's a must that if a person's going to sign up for Q school, that we talk over the phone at minimum, and make sure that it's what you think it is and what it is you want to do. because we are going to have to, schedule, and we need to schedule it, right? And it is on a first come, first serve basis. So to answer that question, yes, we really should chat. Now, a person can take Q School and not become an annual member, um, and you're going to benefit a lot, from the Q School. If at the end of the Q School you want to become an annual member, then we're going to credit back 30% of what you spend on the Q School. We'll apply that to the annual membership. We'll push, credit you back, push it back to you. Um, and that's what we hope. But at that point, you would certainly, an annual member has to have Q School. So I don't know what country, Zagrid, you're in. Now we have members in Germany, Hungary, I believe England, monthly members though, in England, um, and and sometimes we have annual members in other countries that I would have thought, but I don't ask too many questions. But you want to get the the trade station that we have here in the States if you can. So that makes sense. Now, in order for this machine to get any more trades today, this is the opening range. And if we don't go anywhere near the opening range, we're not going to get any more trades. And if it gets to be, I think it's like 345, she'll just stop trading. If she comes down and breaks the bottom of the range, then she'll short and go again. If the way this code is written, the way that we programmed it too, for instance, here, this was on Friday, she broke range and hit a profit target. If she shorted here, what we've also done is this is the mid range. So if the price came back up to the mid range, she would have stopped out. You can set that is also something that can be set, something that can be optimized. Maybe you want to use the mid range as a stop. Maybe you want to use the upper as a stop. You know, you can do that sort of thing. No problem. Oh, you're very welcome. Just just keep us posted. It is first come, first serve. And there could be we will only do two, maximum three persons at a time, and it's individually. So we schedule weeks and months out. So I just want to make sure that we're available to you in whatever your time frame. What country are you in, Sigrid? Are you here in the States? What time zone? Okay, well, that's great. Okay, great. So you're here in the States Central. Okay, beautiful. Yeah, so you got I don't know if you have a trade station, but you have access to the trade station. So you would want to get it. At least on a trial basis, but you'd want to get it because then we're going to send you as we do the Q school, we have an agenda, a curriculum that we want to follow, and we want to be able to send you some of these files so you have a chance to work with them, including Swing Machine. Once again, as folks are coming through, if you've got any questions on what it is you're seeing and the program that we're running, don't hesitate. This program, by the way, came to us from a member who had an idea and a concept that he had seen. His name was Ed, and and he didn't have the versatility in it that he had wanted. So we wrote the program and built in the versatility, and it's very, very versatile, and it does a beautiful job. If you are an annual member, and again, I can't always know, who's coming by on YouTube, but the original program only worked on time charts, but we've now added a feature where you can use it on price charts. So if you'd like to be able to use the opening T-ball strategy on a price chart and you're an annual member, let me know. We'll make the modification. We'll send it to you. Okay, so we're going to update everybody at the end of the week on this. But we got very interesting back test here. And then we took the 10,000 tests and we plugged it into this, which is the Walk Forward Optimizer, and we got a very, very nice result here. So this is a very robust, well, we're expecting it to be very robust. It is, it's crazy. It is the first time that I have run this strategy on this particular chart. Even though we have it and we've had it for years now, that's how many different possibilities and variables. And I don't know if any of our members have done this, but we're going to capture it on video and share it with them and so that they can. But it was just in conversation with one of our members who is trading this style of chart in his Q school. He's working independently on his own, and I said I'm gonna try to do something on the same style of chart, but I'm gonna run a program, and so I don't have to be necessarily tethered. In fact, I was not here. I was not in front of the screen when the order went in, but a lot of versatility, and we can use the backtest models to test out ideas and concepts, whatever they are, before committing money, before committing your time. And then we can take those files, put them into something like the Walk Forward Optimizer, and scramble that data to get a further idea or test as to how robust something is. The rub of it is, though, or the nub of it is, you can also mechanically trade. So you take this trade, for instance, the machine on Friday would have put you short and it would have made money, but maybe you decided to let it run. Okay, that's fine. You would have made a hell of a lot more. The machine went long today and made a profit target of 800, which is what it's programmed to do. But maybe you let it run and you would have made a hell of a lot more. So it isn't like, I don't know how to put this other than, the flying analogy. You have a flight control on an airplane. It's not like you can only fly it using flight control. You can fly the plane when the weather's good, or you can put it into, even when the weather's good or when the weather's bad, you can put it into cruise control. It's not an either or. It's one and one or both, and you can do that. But you do need flying skill. You do need trading skill. But if you have any questions, again, on what it is we're running and how we went about setting it up, but it's all these trades have been programmed, and the machine is putting them in and taking them out. It's even counting the number of trades on a given day. I'm not going to trade more than 4 times in a day. It's already predetermined, and I'm going to let the machine run. Is the plan. I'll try not to intervene so I don't not corrupt the data, but I don't impact the data. If anybody's got any questions, I don't want to repeat what we've covered, but if anyone's got any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. Again, what's running is a 3 minute 3 line break chart on a strategy of ours called SMC opening T-ball. The opening T-ball is mapping the open range and is trading it. And we were able over the weekend to go by means of back testing, find out, well, how many minutes should we be considering the opening range, where the profit targets should be, where the stops should be. And then we got a back test. And then wanting to be sure that we didn't curve fit, we took the back test information, plugged it into a walk forward optimizer, and then scrambled the data to make sure it's as robust as we think it is. Tells us it is. I've never done this before, believe it or not. This particular strategy on this particular chart, I've never done it. It's crazy. But and I was prompted to do it by conversation with one of our members, which is what happens, and that's how come, you know, we get better and better because we got a lot of members doing a lot of different things, and it makes us better. So any question, you let us know. I'm sorry, not a question, merely an expression of gratitude. Your older videos have aided my trading substantially. Trading the markets requires different optics. Well, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. we've learned a lot over the years that we try to share. And I think what we're trying to encourage um, is taking the negative outlier, the negative losses. You gotta have losses, but the negative outlier, the bad loss, taking that off the table. You got to take it off. Um, it just it just puts a hole in the side of the boat, and there's no reason to have them. And keep your losses small. And we do that mechanically. We do that by machine. The other part of it is getting to a place where your trading is repeatable. Not that every single trade is going to be a winning trade, but the repetition and the machine nature of the trading will really make your life. It'll change your trading life if you allow it. We call it trade proofing too. It's kind of like teaching or learning how to swim. We use the example of the Navy SEALs. They have something they call drown proofing, where you ever see them where they drop the Navy SEALs with their feet and hands tied behind their backs and their legs tied together, and they drop them into a 30-foot pool. And what they do is what they learn to do is one, not panic. Two, they will go to the bottom of the pool holding their breath and then spring off the bottom and come back up. They can do that repeatedly and they can learn to tread. But biggest thing is not to panic. And it's called drown proofing because once you're in the pool or you're in the ocean and you know you're not going to drown, then you can relax, think, and execute. And that's what we want to do with person's trading. But if you don't want to let go of that side of that pool, you're hanging on to that pool edge and you're determined to do this or do that and do this and do that, then, it can be a struggle. So literally what we have to try to do is tie your hands behind your back and your feet for like at least a week. Just give me a week and force you to let the machine teach you what the machine can do and what you can do. It's not as fast. The market isn't as fast as one would think. So as long as she stays away from this opening range and she continues, there won't be any more trades. I just want you to know that, and that's fine. We won't be any more trades until tomorrow. And she'll do her thing, and then tomorrow she'll trade for the amount of time that the program is looking for. The range will get identified. She'll either break range one way or the other. We'll either get the trade or not. And then it is prepared now. If we break this opening range later today, then it will trade, but after that it won't. And it won't trade past I think it's 345 is where it ends. But again, this is the back test performance. That's what the back test looks like. But we took these 10,000 tests and then we plugged it into something called the Walk Forward Optimizer. And then this randomizes that data. And based on the criteria that we've established, it tells us that overall we should pass. And that's good. Annualized profits tell us that annualized basis, we should make about 48 grand. Well, maybe we do, maybe we don't, right? That's no guarantee on any of that, but that's what it's telling us. Then we look at something called the efficiency. Now, this is more of an acid test. The overall efficiency says, now, whoa, hold on there, big guy. The efficiency is 30%. Oh, so maybe we're not going to make 48 grand. Because what it's saying is that if the machine says you made 30, well, the walk forward test saying, you know what, the efficiency is 30%. You may only make 10,000. Okay, all right, so maybe we do, maybe we don't, but that is, important to know. And we can measure and grade our trading based on that. Are we trading consistent with the model? Consistency of profit, well, this is very high. The backtest tells us that we're at 69%, but the matrix average, the whole matrix, tells us, well, the winning percentage is 71%. Well, that feels really damn good to me. I mean, we don't usually put a value on the winning percentage, but I'm gonna know in a very short period of time, like this week, how profitable this is going to be. And again, we can drill down on other things. We can say, okay, this is the entry time. What time of the day is this thing going to be best? And notice out of that whole matrix says 2 p.m. is not such a good time. And we're approaching 2 p.m. Maybe I shouldn't trade at 2 p.m. I'm going to today if it came in, but and then it'll even tell us the entry date. Like it's not usually very good on Mondays, which I knew in advance, but we did run it today, and it made money today. But it should do better on Tuesday and Wednesday, on Thursday, and better on Friday. But the truth of the matter is I'm probably going to run, for these few days anyways. I don't like to trade on Fridays. But I show you this as an example of what we're trying to do. Now, do we do this on every single program, on every single? Probably not, but we don't. But here we did. And let me bring this back over. Now, what this strategy is doing is this. I'll draw it out. The first thing is the chart has been set to start collecting the data at 9:30 in the morning, 8:30 Central Time, where the exchange is, 9:30. And the program that we're running, and by the way, this idea, this concept of trading the opening range came to us from a member. And he had a program that I think he had paid for or something, but it didn't do a lot of different things that he wanted. His name was Ed, is Ed. So we said, we'll take a look at it, Ed. And so we wrote a beautiful program that does a lot of the things that he was interested in and a lot more. So what happens is this. I'll draw it out right here so I don't have to change charts. At the beginning of the day, let's just say this is the beginning of the day. At 9:30, what'll happen is markets will oscillate. They'll get they'll do something like that. And what this program is designed to do is to mark the low range, the high range over a set period of time. Could be a few minutes, could be a half hour, could be upwards of an hour. And the machine tells us we can program, we can ask the machine through the backtest, how much time should we consider? And then what happens is we have it programmed so that when price, let's say it goes down in breaks range, then we short it, would be the idea. We short it. We could have a profit target. We could have a stop loss, but we're not using a stop loss. We are using profit targets. The stop loss that we have opted to use is, let me draw this out, is the mid range. And that's that yellow line. So if it shorts here and the price comes back up to the mid range, it'll take us out of the trade. Or if it broke up here, we could buy it. And if it comes back down to the mid range, it'll take us out. But you could also change it. Maybe you don't want to use the mid range. Maybe you want to use the bottom of the range. Maybe you want to do something else around the upper end of the range. I mean, you can do that sort of thing. What you can do. The other thing is, we're not using a time chart. We're using a price chart. You could do this with Rinkos. You could do this with point and figure. You could do this with what we're using is 3-line break. And the truth of the matter is, we've had this for years. And I never did this with 3-line break. The only reason I even thought to do it was that I was speaking to Darian, who's one of our Q School folks, and we were talking on Saturday, and he was doing some things with 3-line break last week, and I suggested he doesn't have this particular program yet, but I suggested that he put on some ranges in trading his 3-line break, and he's doing it mechanically, and I said I was thinking ahead. I think, you know what, I think I'm going to try this, and so that's what we're doing. Now, let me just show you what I further did. I'm going to erase this as we ran a back test. We did this yesterday, and this is the back test. And that's in the back test looked pretty damn good. And so it said, well, if I and it told me how long I should be running the opening, when it's going to start drawing the range. The machine told me that. I asked it how many trade. I didn't want to trade more than 5 times in a day. It came back and said, you know what? You should only trade 4 times. I'm like, okay. And that's what the back test did. But knowing that this is a back test, there's no guarantee that that's what it's going to do in the future. I'm like, well, maybe it's a curve fit. Maybe it's because it's going through all those iterations. So what we did was there were about 10,000 tests. So we took the time. Now I could have done this on a 1 minute, 5 minute, 3-line break, but I just chose 3. I didn't put it through its full gamut, which Susan will do for me. I'm lucky that way. But we did take that back test, that file, and that's where we plugged it in to what TradeStation calls as their walk forward optimizer. And this walk forward optimizer, they spent millions of dollars for this. Now, I don't think many people use it. We do. And this tells us that the matrix average for the test criteria of what we set up is a pass. Well, that's kind of interesting. And then the annualized amount was 48,000. Well, that'd be all right. But then down to earth, it tells me the efficiency is probably 30%. So rather than doing 30,000, maybe I only do 10,000. But I still might do it. I still might do more than that. But I'm just showing you just a taste of the kind of detail that we can do. And then now this one I love. This is so this isn't the back test. This is taking the back test and plugging it into the walk forward optimizer. And now it tells me the consistency of profits is the matrix average is 71%. And I felt real good with that because I'm like, I'm going to know in a few days whether or not this is going to produce for me. So far, so good. Nice trade today. 1 for 1. It's not going to trade a lot. It's not going to trade more than 4 times in a day. I wasn't even here when the first trade went in. I was confident, that what it was gonna. I was there shortly thereafter. I did see it after it had gone in. But this is a walk forward optimizer. And we used to do this by hand. It was very laborious. We would have to take the back test and create spreadsheets and change the time frames. And it was kind of a hairball. This is a beautiful tool. Now, we do this on everything? No. Could we? Yes. Could you? Yes, you could. You know how to use it. We can even drill down as an example. This is a distribution analysis. This can actually tell us what days of the week is it best to run this program. Not Mondays, but I did run it. Looks like we're gonna get away. But the best day is Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and then Thursday. That's interesting to know. What about the time? It's best to run from 10 because it needs from 9:30 to well, actually 9:30 to 10:30, so it starts at 10 and from 10 to 1 and not so good after 1 o'clock. So maybe I should shut up. I'm going to keep going this week. We're going to push the envelope here as long as, everything stays in line. I'm gonna let it run. But that's what that tells us. So maybe you have some strategy. Maybe you heard about, oh, I don't know, Zigrid was talking about implied volatility. Okay, implied volatility is tossed around by a lot of different people, and somebody online says something about implied volatility, and you're like, okay, well, what are you going to do? I mean, you're going to sit there and trade it for weeks and months and learn that it's something good, not so good, waste time, waste money. Or maybe you want us to write a program around this implied volatility idea, and we can run a back test, and then we can take the back test and throw it in a walk forward optimizer, and then see how robust it is. Maybe it's good, maybe it isn't. It's not to say that you still don't want to trade it. Maybe you do, but at least you have something to measure it against. This is where and how, when it comes to moving averages, we know suck because they do. Yet, how many people trade moving averages? Because that's all they know. It's simple, and they fret and fume. Should it be the 2 over the 8, the 3 over the 9, the 8 over the 21? Should it be the 30-day moving average, the 50-day? It's, it is what it is. But we know that they're weak. And that's how we know. So we'll see. But this was our trade. This was our one trade today. And it looked really, really good. I was really tempted to let it run with the machine, with Swing Machine, but I wanted to collect this data and I want to see, and you might want to see as well, what this is going to do for the rest of the week. So we'll try to keep you abreast of it. I hope to still be running it. Probably won't be running past Friday, midday Friday, if at all on Friday. But we are taping this, and we also taped or word, but we recorded the back testing and the forward testing for the benefit of our annual members, because we will show them this at the end of the week of what we did. We did it, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, and we recorded all that. Make sense? I hope so. Again, a glimpse of what mechanical and robotic trading can look like. You don't have to use all these tools all the time, but they're nice. In a situation like this, I was going to be doing something that I hadn't done, and I'm like, well, I don't want to embarrass myself. Now, I would have liked to, I didn't have the time. It took some time to do that, right? Everything is time. But maybe I could have done a 1 minute. Maybe I could have done a 5 minute. Maybe it would be better. I'm inclined to think that the larger the time frame, the better. Um, let's go take a look at, here's the Renko chart. So this is on the S&P, by the way, and this is the big move after the election. This is the throwback to what was resistance, now is support. And look where we're sitting on the S&P, right here, right here. Now, I think we could still get a little bit of a bounce and then maybe a break, and then we go back down to the lower end of the range, maybe. Intraday, what have we got going on? The 5-minute VIX on Swing Machine is short, so the buyers are still here. The 5-minute on ES went long at 10:05. You're up 750. The NQ 5-minute, if you took the 10:10, you're up 1400. You're off of the highs. The Dow also went long at 10:35. It's pulling back at 170. The Russell is bleeding out at 115. It just went short again. Gold went long at 420 this morning. You're up 2 grand on that. Oil also went long at 8:30 this morning. That's all off a Swing Machine. But we're not trading swing, we're trading this. And let me bring up, yeah, there's the performance report. So these back tests, please understand, this does not mean that that's what you're going to do, right? I'm a little hesitant to show back tests because to the uninitiated or to the person who doesn't know, they sometimes make an assumption that that's what they're going to do. That would be the wrong conclusion. You might do more than that. Mhm. And you might not do anything near to that. The back test is a model. It's a model. And then the forward test then randomizes that model, shakes it up, and tells us how robust. So same thing, unfortunately, and thank goodness we're finishing hurricane season here in Tampa. It was an awful season for us, busier than normal. But, we had to watch some of these meteorologists, and they would talk about this. They would say, well, there's this model, that model, this model, that model. That every country's got their own model. And they're looking for the consensus. And then some of the models actually, plug in some AI functionality to it. It's very, very similar here. Very, very similar to what we're trying to do. We're just trying to, get in the general direction. And every once in a while, we'll have, the price action, you know, go askew, go the other way. But what we're not going to do is have a negative outlier. We will have losses, but we won't have a negative outlier. I'm not going to be, short down here and then just watch it run and clean out my account. That isn't going to happen. And there's different ways of doing, achieving that too, by the way. Now I mentioned last week that we wanted to show you some hedging. That'll probably be next week. This week um, because of our conversation with Darian, we wanted to do this. And if Darian, if you're listening, we said after a couple of days, we'll get you this. And he's in Q school. But just keep doing what you're doing and trade mechanically. A person has to be able to drive the car themselves, a trader. A pilot needs to be able to fly the plane himself. These trading robots are tools to help you drive the car, to help you fly the plane, to help you build a staircase. But you need the carpentry skills. There's no shortcuts here. There aren't. And it takes time. And in large part, what it also takes is patience and discipline so that you develop the confidence. That I can't give you. We can give you the knowledge, we can give you the tools, we can give you the insights, we can give you, what we've learned, the lessons and the approach, but we can't give you the confidence. You have to go get it. And you will. You will. I hope you see the video of Scott's. Scott's another gentleman who is in the later stages of his Q school, and his profit factor last week was 4.5. We made a video on it, so you want to go see it, and you'll see a scorecard. His net was $22,000. Really good. Really good. And he traded Wednesday, Thursday, and guess what? He didn't trade on Friday. And he's like, shit, I left a lot of money on the table, but that's okay. That's what he did. That doesn't mean that's what I'm going to do. He beat me, did better. That's fine. Well, he beat me on money, but he didn't beat me on profit factor, and that's okay. Totally all right. It and that's the other part of your trading needs to mature. It doesn't matter what I do, what Susan does, what Scott does, or what anyone else does. It only matters what you do. Doesn't even really even matter. It does from a confidence standpoint, like what the program is doing if you're shadowing it. So give you, for instance, we're looking at this program, right? And on Friday, this is Friday's price action. Look at how wide the range was. And then it went short. Now, it only had one trade on Friday and it would have made 800. Maybe that's what you did. But maybe you have a little more confidence. Maybe you had a little more wood in the trade. It was Friday. And maybe you decided you were watching Swing Machine and you decided to let it run. Well, if you did that, you probably made 2 or 3,000. But not everyone would have done that. Maybe you wouldn't have. But you did, if that's what you did. Here, I did see it. I let the machine take it. I would have liked to have overridden it, but I didn't. I could have. I'm not going to beat myself up over it. But if I had, we would have got a lot more out of it. But that's okay. It's all right. So what we're trying to describe here um, is an approach. Learning to control the things that you can control, accepting the things that you can't control. And even on something like this, a program that's trading the opening range, um, this is all mapped out by the machine. And it took 3 months of data to decide, well, how much of the opening range should I consider? And this is a line break chart, and it's based at 3 minute. It's going to be different if it's a 1 minute. It's going to be different if it's 5 minute. It's going to be different if it's a different market. And we set the stop at the mid range. We could have set the stop, whereas if it got short here and it came back up to the upper end of the range, take us out. But I chose to use the mid range. But I could have continued to test over the weekend and see if I could improve this data. And then also see, and I got to be careful what I'm guarding against. There's a curve fit, and that's when this tool comes into play. This is this tool. To give you an idea, this is even the one in the middle here. This tells us the criteria that we should be using. We take the middle of this one here. We take the middle one, even though it failed. The reason why it failed isn't that it totally failed. It failed one of our criteria setup. There are 5 criteria set up. And this tool will also tell us, because if you're doing some back testing, one of the questions, or you're doing the walk forward optimizer, but how often should you back test? Because like if you back test for 20 weeks, well, when should you do it again? And that walk forward optimizer will actually tell you that you should do it like every 7 days or every 2 weeks or every day. It'll actually tell you. Now, whether or not that has value or not is going to also be on a case-by-case basis. You're going to have to do all that work. I can't do it for you. We can show you how, but yeah, you have to. Susan does it for me, but I do it also. We do it for each other. We know how to do it. And but then we've got to collect the data as we're trading during the week. And we do. We collect that data and then we look and then we go. But what we don't do, I will tell you, like if you're an annual member and you're listening, a couple of things. If you're an annual member and you're listening too, by the way, the opening T-ball, the original code only worked on time. We've modified it so it can now work on price charts. So if you go to load this on a three-line break and it's not working, you let me know and we'll modify it for you. We're going to bring everyone up to date on that at the end of the week. But if you happen to be coming by and hearing that, let me know and you want it. But what we, and if anyone is an annual member and they say, hey, Don, I want to know what your settings were, I will tell you. But I'm not every week or every day or all the telling everybody what market to trade, what settings to use, what strategy to use. That that would defeat what we're all about. We're trying to encourage everybody to trade their own game, learn their own game, use the tools, but become self-reliant. You'll do better. You'll feel better about it. You'll be more empowered by it. And it works because you will also do things that maybe we never thought of. So again, if you go to the golf store and you buy yourself some nice new equipment and you got the clothes, you got the golf balls, you got the glove, you got the hat, you got the naked lady tees, um, and you go out to play golf, I mean, do you want your caddy hitting your shots? I don't think so. You want to hit the shots, right? You want to play your own game. And that's why we've set up what we've set up, and that's the approach. Make sense? Okay. So, any case, we got started early and I was chatting and I forgot to turn my microphone on. So I apologize if folks had come by earlier and didn't hear us. But if you've got any questions on what this strategy is doing, we're gonna now she'll be done. She may not order again today, and then she's gonna do it again tomorrow. And we're gonna turn it on and we'll keep you. And I don't know what she's gonna do tomorrow. I don't know what she's gonna do for the week. And but we're documenting all this, we're recording all this um, on some product called Camtasia, and we do it on Zoom for the benefit of our members. And when we did our testing, we recorded that too over the weekend. So if you're a member and you're coming through and you're like, what was that all about? We'll have it recorded and we'll put it together in a nice kind of a tip video and put it. We have a members website that's a little different than the general website. So no, that's coming. But it's crazy to think. I mean, I don't know why we never did it on three line break because I like three line break, and we just never did. So now we are. I like it. It also forces you when you're running a program, to kind of slow your breathing down, slow everything down, and not start seeing things that aren't there and start doing things that, you may not want to do. We try to dissuade everybody from, and if you're a retail trader and you're coming into the market and every day you're doing a little something different, it's going to be really hard to play consistent golf. You watch this, you watch that, like, okay, I'm getting, and you're constantly working on something. You'll never get to the point when you play golf, you want to get your golf game to a place where you go out on the golf course and you actually enjoy being on the golf course and you're just enjoying the day and hitting the golf ball around and getting done what you need to get done and play in regulation and have a nice day. You don't want to be out there, I wouldn't think, trying this, trying that, throwing this, throwing that, and the next thing you know, you're throwing clubs and getting mad and getting angry. And, trading is supposed to be fun. Golf is supposed to be fun and, a source of hopefully satisfaction and achievement and not a source of frustration and aggravation. Not good, to do it. Why do anything if it's a source of aggravation? Any questions, you let us know what you watch, but she's not going to this range got established. Now I remember the person who had first suggested this, he was had been working with the product. It wasn't doing all this, wasn't giving him the mid-range, didn't couldn't count trades, couldn't, but also too, as I remember, and it made sense, he's like, well, I don't know how long the opening range should be. Should it be 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes? So that had to be built in so that we could go back and ask the computer to establish how many bars, how much time should we consider. And by the way, even though this is it says 3 minute, these bars are not all 3 minutes. It's a three-line break chart, which is doing something different than a typical time chart. That's something else. Most people only use time charts, and we try to peel the onion back to use a whole lot of different things. So if this price action comes back down and breaks the bottom of this range that was established this morning, what will she do? She'll short it, provided it's, within the time parameters that we set up, and provided it's within the number of trades. And it is. It's only traded once. It won't trade more than 4 times because that's what the back test told us to do. Back test also told us that the profit target should be about $800. Left a lot of money on the table here, left a lot of money on the table. You know you're trading well. You know your program is trading well when it's leaving a lot of money on the table. So you don't want to, we don't get it all. We're just trying to get our share, our piece, and manage our risk. So because we got a late start and because I had the microphone off, we'll go till it's 1:42. We'll let you watch until 2. And any questions, let us know. Now, when we look at Swing Machine's doing her thing. This could have been programmed too. And if you had taken the 1 minute short 17 minutes ago, Swing Machine, you would be up $340, 350. The 5 minute is in fact trying to get short again, but it's still in a long. It's still long from let's see, is that 145? Um, let's let's see here. No, I'm sorry, the long was from, she's trying to get short now. That's that 145. She's trying. She's still in the long trade from 1010 this morning. And she's trying to get short here. I'm not going to trade swing. We're trading this. So that's the other thing. I mean, we got dozens and dozens of tools. You can't use them all every day. You can't use them all every week. You can't even use them all in a year. We're not expecting anyone to do that. I wouldn't try to do it. You just want to use what, helps you get the ball on the green and in the hole. Go to the next hole. Now, we didn't take it, but as an example, we certainly will have members that will have. We have folks that trade different intervals. I like the 1-3-5. Some people will use just one interval. Some may use different 2 minute and a 7 minute. This is on Swing Machine. Some can actually use ticks or transactions. But if you had shorted the 1 minute with Swing Machine 21 minutes ago at 128 at this price, yes, you're up $1,000. How much money, capital did it take? About $2,400. So you're up nearly 50% in 21 minutes. Why didn't you do that, Don? Because that's not what I'm trading today. Okay. And I'm not going to beat myself up over it. Mm. And we have other machines and other accounts and that we get full advantage. Do we get it all every day? No, no. We get our share and we're happy with that. Let's see if she can get on down here. She's got quite a ways to go to get down here to trigger an order, but that's fine. Now the 5 minute went short just 2 5 minute segments ago at 145. So that is now etched in there and that's gonna oscillate a little bit. You can't trade without a draw, meaning you just don't put on a trade and it automatically becomes profitable and goes straight to the moon. That's not realistic. It's like being a batter in a baseball game. You're not going to hit every single pitch. You're not going to get on base every single time. Okay, everyone. We're down to our last 5 minutes. Doesn't look like we're going to get another trade-off here. Now, I don't know if it's going to come later today. We'll punch up. We'll try to punch up tomorrow and periodically during the week. We're going to hopefully stay with the same program. Same market. Last week we did something different. The markets were so extended, we traded just a few times and basically got short the Dow, but we couldn't do that this week because we knew we were in the middle of the range and we are going to have some really good volatility. And so we're right back to doing what we're doing and this, actively trading. And this is the program that we chose to run. Um, you know, one of the challenges that we see, folks, and we understand because we understand what this was all about too. And I make the comparison to golf. A person may have an idea of, in their own mind, of how the golf ball is supposed to react to the golf club or where they want the ball to go, and they proceed to swing the club in a manner and in a fashion that they perceive to be right and where they want the ball to go. In other words, kind of like steering it. They want to steer the ball to the hole or will it to the hole. Um, if you played any golf at that time at all, that's not going to work. It's the craziest damn game because the more you swing to the left, thinking you're going to hit the ball to the left, the ball goes to the right. It does just the opposite. A maddening game. When you get really, really good instruction in golf, and I'm not a pro golfer, but I'm okay. When you get really good instruction, the instructor will be talking about having a light grip on the club, swinging the club, letting the club impact the ball and letting it do what it needs to do. You don't have to dig or bat the ball or dig it out. It just happens naturally. If you fight that, you'll never play great golf or good golf, even good golf, and you'll never have that feel. But when you do have a lighter grip and you've got all the fundamentals down, a good grip, a light grip, a good posture, a good stance, and you try what they say, and what I identify with is you trust the swing, you trust, and you feel that impact. I can only describe it to you because when it happened to me, because I had a teaching pro at a driving range. He's like, I can't stand it anymore. He goes, I think you could be a good player, but I can't stand watching this anymore. He just couldn't stand it. I didn't even and he had me, and then I felt, I was like, oh, that's the way it felt. I was like, oh, yes. I felt it once. I just felt it once, the way the club impacted the ball. And once I had that feeling, that okay, now I had to set and embark upon learning how to swing and learning the fundamentals and then practicing and practicing. And I got myself to a place where, I'm still probably a mediocre player, but I can get around, right? I'm not a pro by any means. I mean, a pro, which we have members, they laugh. But trading is going to be much the same. If you're trading what you see, what you hear, what you think, or and you're listening to that inner ear, it could be a hard way to go, right? Um, I didn't do any of that today. We're in the house with one trade today. I don't know what it's going to do tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to be at the end of the week, but we're in at 797. Um, there are 24 trading days in a month. Take Fridays off, 20. If I do that every day for 20 days, it's $16,000. Okay. I'm okay with that. Now, if you need more than that, well, then, you're going to need more leverage, I suppose. and that's fine, or less leverage. Or maybe you only want to work last week, Scott, and his, which was incredible. And please see the video on Scott's scorecard. He worked 2 days, Wednesday, Thursday, and very well could have worked on Friday, but chose not to, which I think is a good idea. You quit early, quit while you're ahead. All right, so I have to break away. And I'm sorry about not having the microphone on earlier. We'll try to punch up a little bit tomorrow, and maybe we can punch up in the morning, see if we see it trade do its thing. These trades went in by the machine, right? Though not even all brokerages won't even let you do that, right? TradeStation will. There's a few others that will, but others they won't. They don't trust you to do it. You got to push the button, you get carpal tunnel and squeezing the mouse. But these trades, this trade, went in and out totally on its own. Left quite a bit on the table. And I'm not visually, I mean, we could be doing a number of things, but that's not what we're working on today, right? It was just discussing, if you want to go back and hear us, how we went ahead, how we went about doing a back test, and then how we went in and plugged in the backtest into something called a walk forward optimizer, which scrambles the data. And then from here, we can begin to look at what the annualized profits might be, what the efficiency is, and what that means. And then the consistency of the consistency of profits, the percent of winning trades, and then the distribution analysis. What time of day might be best to trade this program? What days of the week might be better? And notice Monday's not usually good, but yet I did it and I got away with it. But the program is telling me, Monday's probably not going to be very good. Thursday is going to be eh. So hopefully we make our money by, tomorrow and Wednesday for the week. Maybe $800 a week is your number. It still wouldn't be bad. 3,200 bucks a month. Maybe you're chasing an idea or a concept that isn't good. We can backtest it. Maybe you want us to write the code. As an annual member, if you can describe it in English, we'll write the code, we'll backtest it, we'll forward test it before you spend a lot of time and money chasing something that may not work for you. I wish you all the best. I really do. I want to say thank you for stopping by. Be sure to visit the site and email or share any questions. If you're interested in Q School, one, you need to be a monthly member. Two, it's first come, first serve. Three, you probably want to have TradeStation to get the most out of it. And four, we really should talk on the phone to make sure that I want to make sure that you know what it is, what it isn't, and that you're comfortable with it and what it could lead to. So I want to make sure there's a good match because we're going to spend quite a bit of time together and we want to make sure that we're on the same page. That makes sense? We've been told we shouldn't do the Q School because we'd have a lot more members and it would be much faster. And guess what? That's not going to happen because we think slowing the process down, giving everybody a chance, it's not really just a trial. It is a trial of sorts, but you're getting an education. That's what you're paying for, and you're getting a chance to work with it. And from our point of view, we think that's best. Good luck, everybody. Thanks for stopping in. We'll hopefully see y'all tomorrow. Be sure to push the notification button for when we punch up again next. And we'll keep you posted on how this program. I'm not going to do any other mechanical trading around this here. I don't expect to anyways, unless I had to, but I'm going to try not to. And we'll see how we do. Does the monthly membership show this site live? No. Thank you, Robert. California, thanks. No, the monthly membership is $100 a month, and you do get some education there. But what you do get every night is a video view of all of our algos every night. that is chock full of trade opportunities, and you get an inkling of who we are, what we're about, or more than an inkling, but you get trade opportunities. So most of the monthly members are option traders or swing traders. If you want to be trading intraday, and you want these tools, you want to be seeing them live, our annual members get a live Zoom, a live view on Zoom, but they also get these tools on their desktop. So they don't even, most don't probably don't even patch in because they got them on their desktop. So that's what you would want to do. If you want these tools and then some on your yeah, no, we don't update in the morning. No, no. It's a nightly view on the algo. Yeah. Yep. The if you're a swing trader, um this may sound like heresy, but I don't think you should be even watching the action during the day. I think you should be working purely off the closes. If you want to trade intraday, you want updates in the morning, you want to see what's going on, then you want to be an intraday trader. But if you're a swing trader trading options or stocks, um, you could even be swing trading futures, unless you're trying to carve out the last, couple of bucks of a trade and you want to see the intraday, I think it'd be best not to even be watching the intraday action. Um, if you want to see and be acting on the intraday action, then you want to be an intraday trader and have these tools on your desktop. I mean, you don't want to be relying, and that goes to, I'll just share this, Robert. We have folks saying like, well, how come you don't have alerts? And how come you don't? Because that's what everyone else does. We're going to show you how these tools work, and then you can build your own alerts. So when Swing Machine is generating a buy or a sell, or any of these programs are doing what you want them to do, you can, from TradeStation, you can program it. We can write the programs to do whatever you want, but and TradeStation has some built in, the kind of out of the box stuff, um, but you can program to have the alerts, especially from our tools, going right to your email and or right to your text. And so you're writing your own alerts. Thanks again. Um, be sure to visit the site, watch the videos. Any questions, you can email us, and you're always welcome to call. Unlimited membership on monthly, limited memberships every year. Um, on the annual, we restart everything in January. We still got a couple of spots only because of the hurricane that hit Tampa. It put us behind a few weeks, but so we have spots, but you want to make sure that we're what you think we are, what it's meant for you, and so we should probably, if you're thinking about the Q School, we want to make sure we pencil it in, and it is first come, first serve. All right. Be sure to see what Scott did. Scott is in Q School now, and he sent us his scorecard from on Friday from last week. Go look at it. You'll see it on the YouTube. It's like 2 or 3 videos back. See his scorecard. That's what he did. Doesn't matter what he does, though. Only matters what you did, but he's underway. Thanks again, everyone.